And we are live. If you can see, it says the live down the bottom. It also says live up in the top right corner. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bullmoose Beer Talks. This is a slightly different segment than normal. Today, I'm going to be interviewing one of my good friends, Nicque Dela-Cruz. Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, it's a new segment I'm calling Drinking Buddies because, well, I'm drinking with my buddies. Before we get into the actual show, that's my dog. Nicque, what are you drinking today?
Well, Danny, I'm drinking some sort of Cabernet that I decanted 2 days ago, and I cannot remember what kind it is, but I did get it at
you've been drinking that much already?
Oh, no, not yet. I just can't remember.
Okay.
And I threw away the bottle, so it's too late to go check.
Fair enough. I personally am drinking the Lagunitas Little Something Something Ale. It's one that I reviewed a couple of videos ago. And
that one.
What'd you say?
I think I remember seeing that one.
Yeah, I don't remember what like the financial theme of it was, but I reviewed it a while ago, and I'm drinking it in my authentic Stein that I got from Germany.
Ramstein?
I did not get it from Ramstein. No, I'm never actually at Ramstein. For those of you that are watching, Ramstein is an Air Force base in Germany. Just on vacation one time.
Nice. I want one.
My viewers know who I am. Who are you?
Ooh, well, I am.
Granted, I know that's a really philosophical question. Asking someone, but.
Well, first and foremost, in this episode, I'm your friend, of course. Aww.
Only in this episode.
Only in this one. And so I am, I guess my day job is an Air Force officer.
Mm-hmm.
And what I consider myself to actually do, I am a singer and an actress and a dancer. So I do get paid for that, but not as much yet. So
fair enough. And you and I actually met at the Air Force Academy.
Yep.
If you can believe it, it was over 7 years ago. If I recall, even though I don't remember much about that night, because I had taken a bunch of my friends out to the bar All-American, and you had been doing theater with them, and you joined us for that time.
Yeah.
Sang Don't Stop Believing by Journey on karaoke night. And that's we met 7 years ago.
That's so true. Oh, my God.
And then we both did the Blue Barts program together at the Academy.
Good days.
And yeah, we've been friends ever since. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And I was there pretty much my entire life until I got accepted to the Academy. So yeah, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What made you decide to go into the Academy?
Well, I was poor, and they had free food at the Academy. Honestly, like that's like what got my attention. But my parents basically told me like there's no college fund, so if you're going to college, it's like you got to figure.
Someone who also went to the Academy, you put up with a lot of shit for some free food.
I did put up with a lot of shit. Pretty much the moment I stepped off the bus, I was like, "Oh God, what have I done?"
I mistake. I could be doing ROTC right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Blue Bards made it completely worth it, I'd say. But besides that, and some of the friends I made, I was like, "Oh my God, this is craziness." But
for those of you who don't know, in the chat, or if you're watching this after the live stream, the Academy is a very, very physically and emotionally and mentally demanding place, especially your freshman year, when you basically give up your rights to be people and instead go through a year's long worth of basic training, essentially, called your freshman year.
Yep, good times.
And so transitioning from there, what first got you into theater and acting in general, because you don't just do stage acting?
Yeah, so I actually started off as a child model and film actor, if you can believe it, when I was like really, really little. And then my parents kind of took me out of the life. and and I don't know, like I just always it was always really something I wanted to try when as I got a little older.
Hmm.
And then I just kind of took the leap in high school and I took a theater class and then my school was putting on Grease.
Hmm.
Um and I was like, oh, what the hell? So
One of
I
my
did.
least favorite musicals, by the way.
Yeah, but you know, it is what it is. We can't choose where we come up from. But I love it now because I got the role of Sandy.
Mm.
Um, and so like from there, I just fell in love with the stage life. I'm like, I'm never going back. Like I'm never giving this up. So yeah, like for the last 10 years, I have been performing, not even on and off, just like continuously. There hasn't been a year where I haven't been performing on stage professionally. So
Yeah, so I mean, going into that and transitioning a little bit, yeah, even while you're at the academy, you were part of the Blue Barge group, which was a theater group. And then, in addition to that, after you got out of the academy and you were active duty, what did you do while you're on active duty your first couple of years?
ooh, so I got to my first base and I actually I won a karaoke contest
Oh,
here. Yeah. And I guess from there my commander, my first sergeant like saw that and had kind of plans to push me towards Tops and Blue.
hmm.
Um, and I guess for those tuning in, Tops and Blue is was a traveling group of Air Force members that are singers, musicians, and technicians, and we basically have a touring show, and it goes everywhere around the world, almost every base in the world. And then we hit deployed locations around the holidays. Um, so yeah, I sent in a tape, and before I knew it, I was in Lackland doing like the full tryout, which is like American Idol meets boot camp, if
Hmm.
you can imagine such a thing. And then I came back, and then a few weeks later, they said they want me, and then pretty much I was
That
gone.
would make a really good show, by the way. American Idol meets boot camp. I'm coining it.
That's what it was, dude. Like we don't even have to write it. I know, like, yeah, it really was. It was crazy. But yeah, we went, we staged the show for 2 months and then we headed out on the road with it. And that's what I did for 10 months. Like pretty much my first, yeah, it was like within the first 2 years of being in the Air Force. So that was really lucky.
When you
Yeah.
guys went to all those different places, you guys didn't have like a stage crew or anything to set stuff up. You did everything yourself, right?
Yeah, we were the stage crew. And then eventually I got put in charge of actually constructing the stage, being put in charge of like managing the construction of the stage because the person that originally did the staging had to go home for
Mm.
personal reasons. And so that was an interesting challenge because I'm like, I'm not like that's not what I signed up for, but you know, they teach you to be ready for anything in the academy, I suppose. And I was like, oh well, we'll see how this goes. And it actually went really well, and is one. It's the best job I've ever had. It was so awesome, challenging but awesome.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, Now, you graduated in 2014.
Hmm.
You've done a variety of things in your 5 years in the Air Force so far. I believe you're due to separate in May, correct?
Yeah, 6 months. Yeah.
Awesome. So, with that said, what are your plans upon leaving the active duty side of the world and rejoining the private side?
Well, right now the plan is to move to the New York area, New York
Mhm.
City area. And I work in contracting.
Are you going to
Uh,
try and, sorry to interrupt you, you're going to try and live in Manhattan? You're going to try and live on the Jersey side of things?
oh no, Manhattan prices make me cry. Well, so me and my husband actually went up there last week, 2 weekends ago.
Mm.
Um, and we really like the Hoboken area. So looking at getting a place there. All of our money is going to go to rent, but at least it's not Manhattan. So.
Hoboken is a really nice area.
I like it. Yeah, Jersey City isn't bad either.
I was looking at purchasing a place just for the sake of looking at it.
Really?
Not that I'm moving there, but a like small 1-bedroom apartment, 600 square feet is the same price that I'm selling my house for now.
That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, Manhattan prices are extremely expensive.
Yeah, there's no way. We're gonna have to graduate to that in the coming years, but but I also don't want to live in the ghetto again. So
yeah, understandable.
Hoboken, that'll do.
All of New Jersey is a ghetto, but
yeah, I suppose it's not. You know what? It's not as bad as Houston, even
really?
Jersey City. Yeah, I was like, this isn't bad. Not at all. I'm like, I'll take this.
Fair enough. So in addition to, okay, so you talked about living in Hoboken instead.
Yeah.
What really do you want to do while you're there? I know that you want to try and pursue some sort of Broadway career, but are you going to also look into film or?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know that I love being on stage. But over the past few years, I've been pretty much open to any creative outlet that I kind of fit in with, whether it's writing a book or, getting involved in film or recording an EP or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty open to anything. But definitely the plan is to gear more towards Broadway and stage performance and sort of thing.
And on the topic of that, what is your book called?
Oh, my book is called Queen of Chaos. It's a poetry book.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I know that you also like to dance and you're very good at singing. Do you think yourself skilled enough to be able to instruct it?
Instruct singing?
Instruct singing, instruct dancing.
I have instructed dancing. I like to tell people, like, I'm a jack of almost all dances, but hip hop is like my thing that I'm actually good at. So I've actually gotten to teach quite a few classes here in Grand Forks. I've been able to teach some people that didn't know how to dance at all, and
like me.
I haven't seen you dance.
Good. And you never will.
Oh, come on. We'll see. We'll see about that. I believe we have a wedding to go to in a few months.
We do. So long-term goals. Right? Where do you see yourself in like 10 to 15 years from now?
I have no idea. I know I want.
You got a lot of drive in you, kid.
I know. I mean, yeah, ideally, like, of course, I'm like, oh, I'd love to see myself on Broadway and stuff. But, I have, over the past few years, I've kind of learned to have end goals in mind, but not too rigid, because things don't end up exactly the way you want it to, you get disappointed. And so I would say, as long as I am still doing what I love, like as long as I am performing regularly and getting paid regularly, I feel like that will just build up on top of that. So in 10, 15 years, I better have a kid. And and I just want to have a kid. I want to be financially stable, more than financially stable, financially well. And I just want to still be performing, like just still be going at that same pace. Yeah. It would be nice to have enough money to do whatever I want, whenever I want to.
That would be a very nice thing to be able to do.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Next, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Right. You are an African American, and I believe Hispanic mix, right? How has that impacted your acting career at all? Do you see any kind of underlying prejudice in the field? Do you get typecast, etc.? Like,
Yeah.
just explain how that's impacted your
Experience.
so
Well, like I didn't really have to deal with it too much at the academy because I feel like we pretty much were race blind to everything.
yeah, that's one thing I'd say is pretty good about the military.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for the most part, I'd say.
I mean, I got things to say about that too, but it's funny because it's kind of twofold. Because I have a certain amount of privilege myself because I'm light skinned, and so I'm aware that like it's a twofold thing. I'm aware that I have a certain privilege that because I'm light skinned, I'm able to play other parts, meaning that I can pass for not black sometimes, which I guess some casting directors look for, and I know that I'm more likely to be picked over someone that's darker skinned because I have a more Eurocentric look. So that kind of sucks. And then on the other hand, I do find myself kind of being typecast in more vivacious, I guess sexual, like with sexual undertoned characters. And honestly, from the pool of actors in North Dakota, some of these roles are like, oh yeah, that's totally, that's totally Nicque, and Nicque's the only one that can play that. But at the same time, it just sucks because sometimes you want to be the dainty princess, sometimes you want to be the lead, and knowing that you have.
I also read somewhere that you are the only black person in North Dakota. Is that true?
Yes, 100%. I am the only one. It's quite terrifying. They have no idea what to do with me. But you know what? It's not too bad because even up here, I feel like our directors do a good job of trying to be as colorblind as possible. Like, I was in White Christmas last year and I played Judy, who was one of two sisters, and my sister was definitely not the same skin color as me. She was very pale.
That almost kind of reminds me of when we did A View from the Bridge. And had Johnny, who was a white guy, and then Mark, who was a darker Hispanic individual. And the whole joke of it was Mark was supposed to be the lighter of the two. Like there's even references to that in the play that we ended up just taking out. We made him dye his hair blonde.
We did not make him. He chose to do that.
Correct. Sorry, correct. He chose to dye his hair blonde.
We're not taking responsibility for that. He could have put a wig on. That picture just came across my timeline the other day, and I'm like, what a moron. Right.
Nobody's going to understand this at all, but I recently just got my laptop back from Carl, and on it is the original video file for the trailer that we made for A View from the Bridge, the one where we made it look like an action movie despite the fact that it's a super duper low, slow pace movie.
That was so dumb. Did we play that at Mitch's?
We did play it at Mitch's. Mitch's is the eating hall in front of 4,000 cadets, and nobody knew what was going on. They're like, why are these people playing this shit in the middle of our lunch? I
can't remember if anyone asked me about it. I just remember thinking, please, oh please, no one please ask me about it, because I don't want to have to explain it.
So let's just without nothing in the trailer. We just died.
Oh my god. You have to send that to me, actually.
Okay, I'll compile it into something and I'll find some way to get it to you.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I think about that video more often than I should.
Yeah, it's insane. So moving on. So obviously, you were very fortunate enough to spend a year of your life at Blue Bards and have the a year in life in Tops and Blue, and Blue Barge program for you while you were at the academy. But what has been the sacrifice that you've made to kind of pursue your career in acting and singing and dancing while trying to maintain some other portion of your life?
Time, sleep. You know, in Blue Bards, I don't think I knew you at the time, Danny, but I changed my major because, you know, classes were, you know, at the academy, they're already hard. And I was an engineer major with, which I don't even know if I even wanted to do that anyway. But I switched to political science because I was like, you know, I wanted to be able to be on the stage more than anything, I realized. And so I switched to something that was easier. Like, you know, coming home super, super late. You remember those days.
Yeah.
Tech and
because we had class all day.
Yeah.
Military formation stuff. Sometimes after classes, we'd start rehearsal at maybe sometimes 7, go until 10.
Yeah, so I know sometimes me and like Blake, and then we'd come right after class if we had a 7th period. So it'd be like, you know, 4:45, 5:30.
Have you put a lot into your acting career financially? Like, what does it cost as far as that is concerned?
Not yet. It depends because, you know, besides like makeup and stuff and, you know, dance wear, I suppose I would count that as a financial sacrifice. Moving to New York is definitely a financial sacrifice. That's the first big one I'm about to make right now.
I was going to say, like, you're literally quitting your day job.
I am. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the Air Force has been good to me in some ways, pretty rough to me in others. But at least I have a career field that I can use to put food on the table, I think, and for it to be a jumping off point. You know, 20 years is for some people, it's just not for me. 5 years is quite enough.
No, I definitely understand it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Sure. I was going to ask you one more thing about how is your stand-up career going? I know that you were trying your hand at stand-up comedy for a little bit. I gave you some off-color jokes to use.
You did. I have to try it again, honestly. I've been kind of like low profile lately and just chilling. I need to try it again because the one time I did try it, we did pretty well. And so I have to, yeah, now that you bring it up, I'm like, I got to get back into it.
And then last but not least, and we discussed beforehand that it was okay to ask this, you and your family have a history of mental health issues. How has that affected your life so far? And you can elaborate on that as much or as little as you like. Sure.
You know, I've had kind of strained relationship with both of my parents, one in particular right now. I don't like to talk about this, but I make a point to talk about this whenever I can because, you know, one of my parents is Black, and my other is Hispanic and Native American. And those are definitely 3 communities that we are not very good at mental health. We're not good about it being acceptable to have a mental illness or disorder or going to therapy. If you go to therapy, you're considered to be crazy. You just can't handle it. Therapy is considered to be a white thing.
I was going to say it's almost considered like a weakness to go to therapy. Why can't you just deal with it?
Exactly. And that's caused a lot of strain. That's caused like some strain on some relationships I had because I have PTSD and anxiety and depression. And honestly, I think that a lot of women of color probably have that just because of the unique things that we go through, but we are not encouraged, you know, within our own community to speak up and take care of our mental health. And so, yeah, it's very, very rough. But I will say that having a stress disorder, it definitely forces you to relook at your life and just eliminate the unnecessary stress because, like, you know, there's things in my mind from my past, like just stress I carry in my body that I can't control right now. And so like at any moment I could go into a panic attack, and it happens on the regular. And so and so I find myself doing my best to eliminate anything else that is just unnecessary stress, whether that be people, whether that be, you know, just things that are taking up my time. Even like, you know, minimalizing the things that I own so that I don't have to deal with so much stuff. Like it's, yeah, it definitely changes the way you see your life.
So I'm just going to make a correlation real quick, and take it as you will. But it seems to me, just based on, you know, the history and what I've seen in the, I guess, minds of creative people, the more creative, the more artistic you are, the more likely you are to suffer from some sort of mental health issues. Everybody from Bo Burnham to Patton Oswalt to, you know, all the way back when to Edgar Allan Poe are some of our most creative minds and people that we think of for our historical works of fiction and creativity, music, etc. They've all had mental health issues. And I think that might be the tragedy of being such a creative, influential person.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that last time we had, before you left, the last dinner we had. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree. You know, when you're an artist, you overthink things, like that's what you do. And so, and it's very easy for that to bleed into other parts of your life. So yeah, I definitely agree.
And then that's all that I have for you, Nicque.
Okay.
Do you have anything for me? Did you want to talk about anything in particular?
Not that I can think of right now. I miss you.
I miss you a lot too.
Yeah, but that's it. I hope to see you soon.
I think we will.
Yeah, this is fun.
Okay. And then all that I say, I'm just going to leave you with this. When you do become a big, rich and famous person, give you your first interview. And yeah, and pass on some of that loving.
some of that free swag. Yo, when I do, I'm working on it.
Before we go, you have to finish your drink. That's the unofficial rule. So just down that.
I'm supposed to be watching my drinking, but thanks.
Oh, no problem. That's why they call me Danny the Enabler.
It's okay. I am responsible.
I'm an adult. All right. With that said, I am going to let you go. You have a fantastic evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too, Danny.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.